On the line with us is Michael Winship, who is the president of the Writers Guild of America East and a senior writer with BillMoyers.com. WGAEast.org is the Writers Guild of America site, and you can tweet Michael at Michael Winship, WINSHIP. Michael, welcome to the program.
Thank you. I should say that the Moyers site is BillMoyers.com. That's another
You're right.
one.
Yeah, and thank you for that.
And I apologize for being late. We had a fire alarm go off here in the building. And,
I understand.
Evacuated, and it turned out to be a sprinkler head had gone off, but everything's fine now. So
Good.
It's kind of a metaphor. It's kind of a metaphor, I think.
For what?
For what's going on in the country.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's brilliant. You wrote an absolutely brilliant piece titled "How the Kochs," as in Koch brothers, are ghostwriting America's story. And and there was enough to it than rather than just going through and marking it up and doing a rant about it. I wanted to get you on because there was so much original thinking in there and detail. How are the Kochs ghostwriting America's story?
Well, it really goes back. This story really originates in comments from two women, Jane Meyer and Naomi Klein, and also my colleague, Mr. Moyers. A few weeks ago, I was in upstate New York in my hometown, Canandaigua, doing a thing with Naomi on climate change. And in the course of the two of us talking, we got into a conversation about meta-narratives and how the Kochs have an overarching meta-narrative that's all about the fight against collectivism. And this is something, in other words, against community doing anything to get solutions.
How dare there be a we? It should all be me.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a variation on Maggie Thatcher. She said there's no such thing as society. There's only a collection of individuals.
Exactly. And it goes back to Ayn Rand, and it goes back to libertarian politics and everything else. And it really goes back with the Kochs to 1976, or roughly around 1976, when they were involved in something called the Center for Libertarian Studies, and they had a conference there in 1976, and sort of developed more fully this idea that they should oppose anything that supports a collective effort to solve our problems. And, we're seeing how effective this has been with them, with groups like ALEC and the Libre Initiative and things like that. Mm-hmm. And it even extends to David Koch's sponsorship of the arts. That's part of it, too. I mean, they said that in a paper that Charles Koch did, he said that we have to work with rather than combat the people in the media and the arts. It's sort of a, politics of persuasion to sort of get them to give you a favorable take.
Right. Yeah, it's like every time I see Wounded Warrior Project ads on TV, I start yelling at the television, why the hell aren't we taking care of our veterans?
Exactly. And, it extends to everything, including what our original topic was when I was with Naomi, which was climate change. We need a collective community effort to fight climate change. And, of course, for various and sundry reasons, including especially their energy interests, they aren't for that.
Right. So the rewriting of the American narrative, how does this work?
It's a very slow process. It takes a lot of time. I work in a labor union where we've been doing a lot of organizing, and it requires great patience. It requires years, and the same thing has happened with the Kochs. They have very slowly, very carefully taken years to work out this program. They've held these, as you know, these various private conclaves at swank resorts and so forth, where they bring all their allies together and get them on the same page. They do the same thing with ALEC, where they lure in state legislators and basically give them templates for legislation on everything from voter ID laws to climate change. And it's just an insidious process. Jane Meyer has done a tremendous job on this. I'm sure you've talked a lot about this on your show with her new book, Dark Money, which explores not only the Kochs, but people like the Scaife and various other right-wing groups that have been slowly subverting society. So, in fact, I mean, this really goes back as far as another thing I'm sure you all have talked about on your broadcast, the Powell memo in 1970, when Powell, right before he became a Supreme Court justice, wrote this memo to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce that basically outlined all of the stuff that we're seeing going on with money in politics and this
Suggesting it, pointing out that business had not been political up until that point in 71, and business better damn well get political quickly because Rachel Carlson and Ralph Nader have touched off grass fire revolutions.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an amazing story, Michael. We're talking with Michael Winship. We just have 30 seconds left. What's the main carry home that you would?
Well, the main carry home is that I think progressives have buried their lead. There is a progressive meta narrative as well, and that meta narrative is inequality and fighting against inequality, whether it's economic, racial, political, gender, whatever, is fighting against that and organizing together as a community to fight back.
Right. Right, and that's the history of the United States. In fact, that's why this country was founded. We were founded as a collective, essentially.
Perfectly right.
Michael Winship, president of the Writers Guild of America and senior writer over at BillMoyers.com. And his new piece, How the Kochs Are Ghostwriting America's Story. It's absolutely brilliant, and you can find it over at BillMoyers.com. I commend it to you. Michael, thank you for dropping by.
Thank you.
Good talking.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.